we talk about the interview as well, because I think it's really into Turkish. You mentioned quotes from Arteta quite often, and I think they're relevant as well. But today, I thought his post-match interview was really, really interesting, but I can't quite work out where I land on it in terms of whether I thought he was bang on or if he was being quite performative. So a couple of the quotes that I've just kind of got here, it was on Sky, and he was asked if he was proud of his team's resilience. And he said, no, because what we did in the first half, the first 20 minutes was nowhere near the level. So to do it after is too late. We reacted great, but the standards within those 20 minutes were unacceptable. Asked if the loss to PSG in Europe just days ago had an impact on his team, he remained bullish. Then you don't have to be fighting for trophies, because when you fight for trophies, you might win it or lose it. But then there's another one match and another one finally. So the levels we assess ourselves. It's not just accept things. They've written that wrong. For me, it's unacceptable. And he also mentioned he pushed back on the reporter's question regarding I'm going to find it. Anyway, I couldn't work out if what he was saying was the right thing to say, standards. I'm always banging about standards, or if he was just saying that because he's under a bit of pressure and he's been a bit performative. Because for me, I always feel one of the few cliches in football is it's easy to play when you're 2-0 down. Because when you're 2-0 down, you kind of think, the game's kind of gone, sod it, let's go for it. So the fact we came back deserves some praise, but equally, we shouldn't have been 2-0 in the first place. Why were we losing 2-0 in the first place? Liverpool are a good team and they're at home, they're champions. But for me, the standards of every ground we go to, we conduct ourselves the same way, whether we're 2-0 down or 2-0 up, has to be addressed. I don't know if you guys saw the interview or if you had thoughts on it. I just couldn't work out if he was talking sense or if he was just being a bit weird.
James, you said
to go first.
You said you heard it, yeah? Because I haven't heard it, but so I want to.
No, I've not watched it.
I heard what he said after he said, "I want action, not reaction." That was
That's it. That was the word. Yeah.
He was very spiky, very, very kind of almost quiet, short answers.
He was pissed.
Let me come at this from a more sympathetic perspective. Arteta's been killed this week. Saw Peter Schmeichel had a lot to say on him. We've had a lot to say on him. Arsenal fans are questioning more than ever. It probably burns him that it's another season without winning something. He deserves criticism for it, and some stuff isn't his fault. So I'm just trying to look at it from a more human perspective, right? He's talking to the Sky cameras or whoever it might be. They've all had a lot to say about him, and he's probably thinking, "Why should I? You're all coming at me. Why should I even give you guys up? Whatever I say, you guys are going to get onto me." So I can maybe sympathise from that perspective, and I'm trying to imagine what it must be like. Hell, I get a bit sensitive if there's a YouTube comment I don't like. Forever Arsenal, I can be about. Oh, imagine like the whole of the football world and Arsenal. So I'm trying to be empathetic in that sense, but. Again, I don't think it was particularly great from Mikel, guys. And I'm not annoyed at it. I just don't really get it. I thought this was the one. I think the interview should have been flipped. I think post PSG, he should have been furious about the season and the situation we're in. And then this was the time to go, we just lost Trossard. Rice wasn't available to play. Timber couldn't come on. I've had to get on 4 left backs for another red card. My players have missed a load of chances, but you know what? We fought back. We got a point at Anfield, and thanks to the players for trying. We're not happy, but we'll keep fighting. That was kind of the moment to be a bit more defensive of the players. So I like what he said. I feel like it came about 3 days too late, and I don't really think the tone fit. But maybe I'm being way too critical, guys, and I'm trying to empathize. Maybe he's seen all the criticism and maybe he's gone, actually, fuck this. I need to instill some standards. Or maybe he's just furious that everyone takes his quotes because his pre-match for this game wasn't great. He said, how clear do I have to be? Blah, blah. And he actually doubled down on what he said post PSG. So I don't really know. I think this is a man under tremendous pressure. I don't think we can understand the pressure that managers and footballers are under. And I know they're paid a lot for it, and I know that it's just football, it's never personal. And I can imagine I'd lose my head quite a lot if I were in this sphere. But even with all that sympathy, I'm not quite getting Mikel right now. I don't quite understand right now.
Well, just before Lee, just briefly say sorry, Lee, before you come back in, I'm going to put it down to just a bad week. Because normally I think he gets the tone right in press conferences. When we're bad, he normally calls it. When we're good, he normally praises it. So he normally gets it correct. This week, I'm going to just put it down to pressure, and he's had a bit of a mad one. So it's bizarre.
Exactly. I just think listen, he's a winner. He's a professional footballer back in the day, so he would have had that competitive thing in him. And I think this week has kicked him and hurt him, he don't want to lose, and losing in semi-finals is tough to take, and probably is hurting a little bit more than what people think that he should be or whatever. But that would have hurt him on Wednesday, because do you know why I think it would have hurt him more? Because what could have been if I could have gone and got the centre forward in January, if I'd have done this and I'd done that. I think he's looking back with a lot of regrets, because I think if he has a proper striker, and we score in that first couple of minutes, I think maybe we could go on and win that game. I think even today, we could have been 1-2-0 up before they scored. I'm not saying this game, but because Liverpool not quite at it or whatever, but you know what I'm coming from, and I think that maybe there's a little bit of regret,
He also said something about this was fascinating. He said something about the first 30 minutes. I didn't like our actions. I didn't like what we were doing, and that's on me. That's my responsibility. And again, I was really surprised, because his tone has been of injuries, the players we don't have available, and the circumstances and everything's been so difficult. Yet here we are, almost like, guys, it's amazing where we've been, and we've all not bought that. Yet this was the part where I thought, Mikel, actually, this one wasn't I didn't think this was his responsibility. Saka misses a great chance. Partey wins the ball back. Trossard right into the back of the net. You've gone to Anfield, started quite well. Your defenders listen, one thing we can't criticise is Arteta's ability to coach a defence, right? He gets that right. Yeah, they completely fucked him on the 2 goals. Well, this is the one time where I was going, Mikel, I don't think this one's on you. Rice wasn't available to play to him, but this is where he went, and that's on me. That's on me that the players didn't. And I'm just confused. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I don't want to bash him again. I just don't get him right now. But whatever. It's fine.
James, you've also got to look at the players as well.
Turkish, what do you make of the comments? Sorry, Kelly, I didn't
No, it's all right if you don't want to listen no more.
Jordan.
I was thinking it as well, to be fair, Lee. I was thinking it too.
Fuck you and all in, you know what I mean?
Jordan said he's not normally, he normally reads the room right in terms of Mikel, but he's not normally under this pressure that he's been under the last week. Because the expectation is here now. The contract is signed, Mikel. So this is the pressure. This is the expectation, and it's not. It hasn't been good the way he's been handling it. With this one, I think okay. My perspective, I guess I need to listen to the full transcript or read it or whatever. But he's got to be careful, because the players have run themselves into the ground for him, right? So the game after basically the season's done, if the game starts a bit flat or whatever, that's not the right. I've kind of with James in terms of the circumstance. This ain't the right time to be saying the standards and the actions were not right and fair, because natural human instinct is it naturally happens that when you're not fighting for something, you're not I'm not saying they're not giving their all, but when you're fighting for something, when you're close to something, there's a bit more of you unlocked. That's not there no more, because there's nothing left of the season. It's all essentially looking forward, thinking forward. So I can understand why we started flat. To be honest, we've been pretty flat all season in terms of generally what we expect, but it's a bit weird for him to come out and say it after this one. I'm with James. I haven't heard it yet. I haven't saw the whole thing, but if he's kind of doing that and talking about actions and all of that again, then I'm just like, even though he says that's on me, it's like maybe this time the honesty was what you've actually been using as deflection the whole time. Maybe the honesty was, come on guys, we've already we know we went into the season we will learn from that. We will learn, trust me. and you know we was just fighting for something on the cusp of potential history for this club, and it wasn't to be. I feel aggrieved by that. I think we was good over the 2 legs. Maybe throw a bit of that into it again since you doubled down on it, and say so they were a bit flat out there. Maybe they, you know, that's been used as deflection before, you know, but in this context, I think it very much applies and makes sense to me. Now that's why, huh?
Sorry, I'm being so rude. I keep interrupting. Sorry, guys.
No. It's all good. That's why I don't like. For me, the last few games are the last few games. I'm still reeling from Wednesday.